Hello everybody, I am a qualified Bedwars player. Here are my qualifications. I have like 20 FKDR as my stats, and as you can see I've got a good FKDR in all of my other modes. I was in the #1 Bedwars guild at the time, Scent, which is now completely dead, but I was in that and it's the #1, so that means I must be one of the best players in the world. I beat #2 Elo in Mine Man for bed fight, and that's like the second best player in the world. So if I beat the second best player, that means that I'm the best player. So I hope you understand that I'm a qualified Bedwars player now. With all of that out of the way, today I'm going to be reviewing Bedwars tutorial videos that I found on YouTube. Basically, I'm just going to be completely stealing their content and adding a few of my thoughts to it. So I hope you enjoy, and hopefully I can be debunking some of the myths of this game, and also helping you improve your Bedwars skills. But before you continue watching, and I know like most people might skip this part because it's really, really boring, but I'm serious, do not skip this part because I'm about to beg. I really want to get to YouTube rank, because I have like 4K subs until I get to YouTube rank, right? I guarantee there is someone here watching right now, and whoever's watching, you know who you are. You are not subscribed. You can subscribe for completely free and help me out, and you can do it without even getting notifications, okay? And I guarantee basically nobody's going to do this, but if you really don't want notifications, you can just subscribe and turn notifications off, and I'll get more subscribers, and I'll get closer to YouTube rank. So there is really no reason not to subscribe right now, otherwise you're a horrible person. Anyways, let's get into it. How to improve at Bedwars, the new best Bedwars strategy.
And mine automatically sends me to the Bedwars lobby.
Fucking hell, there's a whole tutorial on how to get on Bedwars. This is what the nons need, man.
Emeralds later on, you can buy armor, tools, ranged weapon. I
feel like this is a very beginner video. Like, this guy is explaining exactly how to like right click the shopkeeper and like log on to the game. I don't know if he's going to explain any strategies or anything, but we'll see.
To take your bet. Over there you can see that my teammates are fighting, so let's try and go help him out. You can build with wool or other building.
This guy, I don't think this guy knows any Bedwars strategies. I think he just knows what the items in Bedwars do, because he's rushing with like 35 iron and 6 gold already. Like, realistically, this guy should be putting that in his ender chest so that when he dies, he can have it for when he respawns and buy something else. I don't know why he's going in with 6 gold, bro. You could use that for like half of iron armor. Okay, we're not watching any more of this. If you don't know how to play Minecraft, or you've like never logged on to Hypixel in your life, this is the tutorial for you. But this has nothing to do with any strategies. This man is rushing with like 9 gold. That is not how you play the game. Let's get on to the next one. The 2 greatest Bedwars bed defenses.
These are 2 of the greatest Bedwars bed defenses. Number 1 is the classic hot dog bed defense, because not only does the wood require tools for faster breaking, but also the wool across the top makes it even more.
That is not a hot dog defense. That's not what it looks like. He's added too much wood. The point of the hot dog defense is that you only spend 4 gold on the wood and then you just add a layer of wool on top. This is what a hot dog defense is supposed to look like, but I guess he's got like an extra layer on top.
Blast resistant. It is also extremely affordable, being one of the best defenses.
Looks so
Number
stupid.
2 is the TV static defense. This is where you alternate different blocks.
No, this is horrible.
Like glass and endstone for one layer, and wood and wool for another. This is broken because it provides different types of durability.
This is a terrible idea. You should absolutely not do this. If you're gonna add like tons and tons and tons of different blocks to your bed defense, this bed defense probably costs so much because of all the different things that you have to buy to create it.
Such as TNT protection and fireball protection.
There is no point of having glass if there's like another section of the bed which can be exploded as well. Like, it makes 0 sense.
How to win every single bridge fight in Bedwars. What you're gonna want to do is build up 1 block, 2 blocks, and then 3 blocks, like this. This allows you to jump over your opponent and break their bed, and there's nothing they can do about it, making them cope, seethe, and mold.
I mean, this is called bypassing, and it's not really winning a bridge fight, it's just bypassing and going over them. This works in certain scenarios, like if you're very close to their base and they're very far away from your base, you can just jump over them and get the bed. But if this is like your first rush, or if this is someone who's pretty close to you, they could try and trade beds with you and then you'd be in a bad situation. Or they can just respawn or run back and try and fight you still. This isn't necessarily like a foolproof plan. There's not going to be many bridges which are just a straight line. Like a lot of people are going to try and bridge upwards and their bridges are going to look more diagonal, and in a diagonal bridge you're not going to be able to do something like this, so I don't really think this strategy is very foolproof, but I guess in certain scenarios it could work.
3 tips for you to get instantaneously better at Bedwars. Number 1, buy ladders. They are dirt cheap, completely negate fall damage, and they are stupid easy to clutch with. Number 2, learn how to block in. It makes breaking enemies' beds way easier. Number 3, in modes where you have a team of 3 or 4, use this bed defense. Trust me, we use it in ranked Bedwars all the time because it is the most optimal. 3 tips for you to get
Yeah, not bad advice. That is the worst block-in you could possibly do. I don't know why he did a block-in from the front. If you're going to get into a bed defense that looks like a giant pyramid, right? You're gonna want to go like in the middle of the defense where you can just mine down 2 blocks and just place like 2 blocks to cover yourself. But for some reason he's went on right on the edge of the bed. I'm not sure why he's done that. I mean, it worked, but there was 2 gaps next to him. How to play Bedwars in 2 minutes.
After staying in the generator for a while, approach the shopkeeper. This is where you get your items.
Yeah, he seems to have dropped his items on the floor after buying his wool. I don't really think that's a very good idea because although it's faster than placing it in the end chest, I don't think you're saving too much time. And the fact that you've dropped the items now means that if someone does come to your base, they could technically pick them up and you might lose them items. And maybe that's not very high risk, but I think it's just better to be safer and put it in an end chest.
Some of the items that you should buy include blocks, tools, TNT, iron armor, potions, ender pearl, and more blocks.
Yeah, so for solos and doubles, I don't think TNT is anywhere near as important as 3s and 4s. I think TNT should very rarely be used in solos, and also a little bit more in doubles, but also very rarely. Mainly because in solos and doubles, you can just kill the whole team and then break the bed. Whereas in 3s and 4s, it's much harder to kill the whole team, so you might have to break the bed while the team is still there. Saving your gold in solos and doubles is extremely important because you need to get iron armor as fast as you possibly can.
Items that you should never buy: chain armor, pop-up tower, sponges, and all the bows.
Okay, I definitely disagree with this. Pop-up towers, yeah, they're almost entirely useless. I can't really think of many situations where you really need them. He said sponge as well. Sponge is a little bit helpful if there's a water defense, so you can bridge with sponge and then the whole bridge behind you will disappear, and I feel like that is kind of useful in some certain scenarios, but very rarely will you have to do something like that.
Yes.
I feel like the whole idea that you shouldn't buy any bows is mainly because of like, I don't want to say culture, but like there's kind of like a whole cultural thing with Bedwars where people really don't like it when people buy bows because ranged weapons are just annoying, but generally it is actually quite useful to buy them, especially if you're a final kill, because getting ranged hits can be the difference between winning and losing a game. Like if you get someone to a low enough health, or if you bow someone off a bridge, that can really help you.
On Orchestra, get 32 blocks, don't place a bed defense, and bridge through mid to your linear rush. Continue around the map, bridging through diamonds.
I don't know about that. I feel like you should place a bed defense on Orchestra, and also, depending on the person next to you, I think it is a good idea to try and get more than 32 blocks. Because if you get more than 32 blocks, then you can go above the opposite team. So you can bridge up and jump on top of them. And they might not be able to do that because they might not have enough blocks. And once you jump on top of someone from above, you're going to have a huge advantage in a bridge fight.
On Pernicious, get 60 playground and potential threats.
Seems like he's just going through every map and saying how many blocks you need. So, yeah, that's quite interesting. But I think generally he's got it correct. But just for some maps, I think you do need more blocks than the actual minimum can be. Like, even though you can get from one side to the other with less blocks, you want to make sure that you're not flat bridging and going high up so that you can win every fight.
The first tip I have is that when you don't have a bed and you're clutching, save your fireballs. It can be really tempting to try and take people out with a fireball, but unless you're sure you can get them, don't waste it. Fireballs are, in my opinion, the most versatile item in the game, and they have so many uses when you're trying to stay alive without a bed. You can use them to backboard an incoming enemy, expose an invis player, take out somebody with jump boost, or save yourself with the Pearl Fireball technique, which I'll make a video on separately.
Now that is a really interesting technique because I've never actually seen that before, but I feel like that could definitely work, yeah. whole fireballing. I didn't realize that when the hitboxes collide, that actually teleports you to the position of the fireball.
Technique in the whole game, which I call Jamesing. I say that because the first time I ever saw it used was in James's videos, and when I started using it, I just found myself saying,
check what the item is.
James. Anyways, the basic premise of this technique is that you build a block off out of wool between you and the opponent, and then mine through it with shears to surprise them. I find myself using this a ton when getting someone's bed, as it's easy to build out a sideways pillar from someone's defense and then knock the enemy into the void when they try to get around it.
Wow, that's actually a really interesting strategy. I haven't thought of that before. I always make them pillars to stop players, but I don't actually mine through them and then go around and kill them. That's a really interesting strategy. I think I might start using that actually.
Trapping is really a dying breed and nobody falls for stuff like block traps anymore, but that's exactly why this works. This isn't a meme tip at all. The jump trap is genuinely incredibly useful, specifically in solo bed wars. I often make these on the bridge to my base so that I can leave and go attack other people without worrying as much that someone will get my bed while I'm gone. This genuinely works first try about 95% of the time. In this clip, I was off getting someone else's bed.
That is also a very interesting strategy. I've seen traps done before, but usually when I've seen traps done, they're done as like a joke. But I guess if this does actually work multiple times, and does actually prevent your bed from being destroyed, then it might be worth using. The only thing I can think of is the fact that maybe it might be a bit time consuming to build the whole thing, but it looks quite simple. I guess you'd also have to get used to not falling for your own trap as well. But yeah, that is also quite an interesting strategy. I like this video quite a lot because it's going into a lot of different things which I haven't really heard of before, and a lot of new strategies like Jamesing and Ender Pearl, Fireball clutching. So yeah, this is a very good video, yeah.